Hi, this is a short film just to update the Danebank community and residents with regards to what's actually happening about the proposed development of the land known as Windsor Fields / Granada Fields. This is a short update just to advise you what the committee have been working on and advise you on what is expected to come in the near future. Back in June 2016, there was a local group called Danebank Green Space, which was set up in order to look into what plans Tameside Council actually had for this land. After a lot of research and delving into the archives, it has now been proved that Tameside Council do actually own the whole of the plot of land, which houses the cricket club, football club, angling club and the stables. Since the setting up of the Danebank Green Space Group, there's been a lot of work that's been going on behind the scenes. There was a fundraising event at the Boys Club back in September 2016. A public meeting was then held at the Cricket Club in October 16. Tameside Council, along with Wayne Homes, have been working on a master plan, which is being drawn up by a company called Planet. This master plan was actually shown to stakeholders and they were asked what their views were regarding this draft design. So this happened in February 2017. It's further gone away and been redesigned, and we are just waiting at the moment for a further meeting to be held with the stakeholders again to show a more up-to-date master plan. Once this master plan has actually been shown to all the stakeholders, this is when Tameside Council will actually then communicate with all the local residents to ask what their views are regarding the plan. Now everybody will have their own ideas of what they object to, if indeed they do object to this, but it is really important that as many people as possible attend when they do hold this public consultation. The Danebank Green Space Committee are classed as a stakeholder, so they were invited along to the meeting whereby Tameside Council, Wayne Homes and Planet were in attendance. Now since this meeting, the committee have been really busy doing further research on all the policies and procedures, what the environmental impact will have. They've been investigating the impact on traffic, congestion, pressures of school places and the local health service. That's just a small amount of work that's gone on behind the scenes. Andrew Gwynn has given as much support as possible to the campaign, and one of the suggestions which did crop up was to register the site for an asset of community value. Danebank Green Space actually did register all the clubs, the cricket club, football club, angling club and also the stables and grazing field.
Well, of course at the moment there isn't a planning application, and when there is, it's really important that people stick to what the planners call material planning considerations, and that's basically planning policies that have been created over the past 20 or 30 years in documents like the Unitary Development Plan. And so things like protected open space are really important factors, and there is a council planning policy OL4 which has this area of Danebank as protected open space, and so that is going to be one of the main arguments to make sure that we have in the future adequate recreational land and land for informal recreation for people to enjoy and to use.
An asset of community value was awarded to the Boys Club and the Cricket Club, but unfortunately it wasn't forthcoming for the Danebank Angling Club and the Horses Stables and Grazing Fields. Tameside failed to engage effectively with the Angling Club and claimed they did write to Norman. Norman never received that letter. Housing and open space policies are now under review, and with Andy Burnham now being our new Manchester Mayor, his intention is to rewrite the Greater Manchester Spatial Framework with a focus on brownfield sites being used first for any development. Andy Burnham's manifesto highlights the protection of green space and clean air. In a meeting with Tameside Council, it was suggested that the development would have no impact whatsoever on the air quality and noise. Tameside Council are planning a further round-up consultation with the key stakeholders, which will then be followed on with a formal public consultation exercise whereby all the Danebank residents will be invited to comment on the proposal. This is a really important meeting to try to attend, because this consultation will be the only opportunity to actually sit there and listen to what Tameside and Waine Homes have to say about the development. Once this land is gone, it is gone forever. The angling club will be filled in, those ponds will no longer be there. The stables and the beautiful grazing land where the horses are, that will be gone as well. And instead, it will be replaced with up to 250 houses, which is just like Legoland. For any residents who do object to this development, it's strongly advised that you do get involved as much as possible. Please find out how you will be affected by this development. Once the public consultation arrives, there will be an alternative exhibition that will run parallel with the Council's public consultation later this year. Please do come along, because this will highlight some of the things maybe you hadn't thought about how this development will affect you. Danebank Green Space do have an alternative vision for this area, which would support the clubs, protect the green open space and also improve public access. There are a number of things that this area could be used for, far better than just houses back to back. If you're not happy about the proposed development, then please, you must lodge your objection, because if you don't, we are just making it so much easier for Tameside Council just to get on with the development. Any objections, no matter what they are about or whether you think they're important or not, let's make it harder for Tameside to actually look at all these objections and deal with them, because this is part of the plan. They have to advertise the fact that this land is being sold and developed, and they do have to deal with all objections which they receive. If they get none, they'll have no work to do, and then the diggers will just be in sooner than we realise. Please don't forget that when this land has gone, it has gone forever. There is no bringing that back. The Danebank area is already overpopulated with houses and cars, so you can imagine if they do build these new houses, what impact that's going to have on the pollution, the noise, the spaces at your doctors, dentists, school places. Please think about everything that this will affect and write down anything you can think of and bring it along to this consultation that will run parallel to the council's meeting with you all. If you have any spare time where you feel you could maybe be a representative for your road or avenue, please get in touch with Danebank Green Space. Whenever newsletters are distributed, this is a real help to have one designated person per area. It'd also be greatly appreciated to help collect all the objections once we've had the public consultation. Then what Danebank Green Space will do is actually collate all that information and put that onto a database before they submit it to Tameside Council. This will just be a way to monitor that Tameside Council have actually dealt with everybody's objection and they've handled it correctly. Danebank Green Space are very grateful to all the support that has been given from the Angling Club, the Friends of Granada Park and also Andrew Gwynn, amongst many other organisations that have now come on board to help wherever possible to fight this case. It's really important that anybody who does object raises their objections and does make it as difficult as possible for Tameside to actually go ahead with this proposed development. As you know from what was mentioned earlier, Danebank Green Space did hold a fundraising event at the Boys Club back in September 2016 in order to raise funds for legal advice in how we can fight the development going ahead. Danebank Green Space are aware that not everybody has access to a computer maybe, or is unable to get out of the house, so this is where if you volunteer to be a representative for your area, you will be key to ensuring that all those people who are unable to be kept up to date and informed do have that privilege of receiving news directly from yourself or from the committee. The trees and open green space is not only nicer to look at than bricks and mortar, but it's also crucial to absorbing all the pollutants within the air, as well as being the home to several species of wildlife which is in abundance in this Danebank oasis. If any Danebank residents have the time to put themselves forward to be a key person whereby we can filter newsletters through them to distribute in their area, this will be greatly appreciated. There's a lot of work to do, and maybe there are people who are unable to get out, and it's vital that those are kept informed. So if you can help, please do come forward and be the spokesperson for your road or avenue. If you have any questions for the Danebank Green Space Committee, or you wish to advise them of any information you have heard, please email them on the address shown.